What's up, everyone? It's Trey Baptiste here. Really excited to teach you guys a little bit about face-offs. Obviously, it's for an extremely great cause that I'm really passionate about. So just wanted to give you guys some of my time, some of my tips, some of my expertise in this matter. Before we get started, obviously, I'm sure everyone has heard that the face-off rules might get changed. So it might be standing only and neutral grip. So for a lot of you guys, that's something that is new, something that you're not really used to, something that you probably only do 30% of the time. So it's really important that you guys get that down and you practice it just as much as you've been practicing knee down, right? I remember when I first started, I only faced off standing up, and I got pretty good at it because of the time I put in. And then eventually I switched to knee down, and then I got pretty good at that too because of the time that I put in, right? So before you freak out and get really nervous about everything, first know that the rule isn't set in stone. And second, know that you got plenty of time to work on this and dial it in, okay? So we're going to do a bunch of standing neutral grip stuff right now, okay? So we're going to start out with stance. Hopefully my camera's in a good spot, but so first, start out with stance. What I like to do is I like to point my toes towards the ball. It's really important that you have all your weight, energy, and momentum going towards the ball and towards your opponent, who would be right here. Okay, so I don't have a line here, but the line would be like right here. Try to get my left foot as close to the line as I possibly can. Then my right foot, I want to get as close to the head of my stick. Okay, with the rules, your foot has to be to the left of your head, so just be careful of that. But I like to get as close to my head as possible, and then I might have to like adjust a little bit. Now, when I go down, really important that I'm bending at my knees and also my hips. So I kind of have a flat back here. Got a flat back here, bending my knees and my hips. Hold on, sorry, my camera went black. Am I still recorded? Yeah, I'm still good. Okay, so bending my knees and my hips. So I have a flat back. I'm in a nice athletic position that I can move really fast in any direction. And also, I have little to no weight on my hands. Okay, so you don't want to have any weight on your hands like this. You want to be able to stand up, go down really easily. Okay, now down like this, get the ball in the center of my stick. Now from here, there's a bunch of different moves that you can do. One that I like is clamping, obviously. So when I clamp standing neutral, I like to just plunge straight on this ball. Okay, so always know you want to clamp with the throat of your stick, which is the strongest part of the head, okay, which is this bottom U right here. So I'm clamping, coming down, getting that throat of my stick onto the ball. Then I'm lifting this left hand straight up, okay? Notice how I get a nice grip on that ball. Okay, show you that one more time. Here, coming down that line, get my throat over that ball, lifting my left hand up, okay? Notice how my body weight and my momentum is going towards that ball and towards my opponent. Okay, so I'm right here again. Boom. Now from here, there's a bunch of different things you can do. What's really important is with these new rule sets is you're not going to be able to hold this ball clamped down for a while. Okay, so you got to be able to move this ball pretty quickly. So I'm going to show you a few different exits that you can do after you get that initial clamp. Okay, so first would be going forward, everybody's favorite move. Okay, so I'm here, staying neutral grip, that plunge like we talked about. Now from here, I want to pull this ball towards the left side of my body. So I'm going to bring this ball this way with me and then go out, okay? I did a little slow, so the ball fell out, but if I do a little more force speed with a little bit more pressure, I'm here, then I want to step out, and then I'm going forward, okay? Notice, right, I really bring that ball around to the left side of my body so I get protection from my opponent who's over here. Okay, really important. All right. Oh, sorry. All right, there we go. Okay, so that would be exiting out forward, okay? And notice, right, when I have that plunge, I can kind of go in whatever direction I want, right? Because I got that ball nice and locked in, okay? So I'll show you a couple others from here too, okay? So this is what I call the backdoor exit, okay? So we're here, plunge. Now instead of pulling this ball out to our left here, I'm gonna pull it out to my back right this way. So I'm turning this head, turning my wrists, and I'm once again stepping away towards this way to step away from my opponent who's right here. okay? So that'd be the backdoor exit. Show you one full speed. Back up a little bit. Camera up a little bit. All right. There you go. So I'm like right about here. Okay. Down here. Down, say whistle. Boom. Going this way. Step in. Catch it. Okay. So that'd be the backdoor exit. Now, another exit would be a defensive exit. Okay. So this is I'm turning away from my opponent, trying to box him out before I pull the ball out. Now remember, like I said, you got to move that ball out fast, especially if these rules pass, okay? So it's really important that we have really great footwork and we know what we're doing once we get that clamp, or that plunge, excuse me. So here, get that plunge. Now, from here, I now want to turn my hips around, turn away from my opponent. And it's really important that I keep my head and my shoulders over my stick and my head over the ball, okay? So now when I turn, I want to back step like this, turn, and I'm turning out and going, okay? Once again, boxing out my opponent before I pull that ball out. I'll show you that one more time. I'm here, all right, getting a little closer, boom, stepping around, going back this way. Notice I really protect my stick around my body, okay? Now, I'll show you through the legs exit, okay? Now I'm gonna face this way to show you, okay? So from here, give you a nice angle of that plunge too. Also a little angle of my booty. Just kidding. All right, so I'm right here. Now, coming down my stance. Now from here, a bunch of different ways you can go. But the whole gist of it is you want to throw it between your legs. Now you can utilize this plunge, sort of drag it and then throw it between your legs. Or you can move your feet, right? So at work, I can go like this. Say if I want to throw it more towards you over there, I can step this way, throw it right to you. Okay? Or, if I want, I can go more towards my right even. Okay? So I'm going here, plunge, boom, step this way, boom, in between the legs. And it's really important that either A, you're throwing that ball to your wing guy or to someone else. Or sorry, to your wing guy or you're picking it up yourself. Okay? So if you're throwing it to your wing guy, it's all about placement, right? So you got to know exactly where he's going, and then you got to get him kind of in stride. So you don't want to throw it behind him because then you might lose that ball, and then the other wing guy's going to pick it up. And you don't want to throw it too far that it goes into the box, and then the other team's got to pick it up, right? So you got to really practice that timing and also that distance that you're throwing the ball out, especially when you're throwing it to your wing guy. But also when you're picking it up yourself. When you pick it up yourself, you don't want to be throwing the ball out 10 to 15 yards because then a wing guy's going to get involved, and it might be a wing guy on the other team, right? So make sure if you're going to pick up that ball yourself, throw like 5 yards, you can turn around, box out, run straight through that ball, okay? I'll show you one of those. Back this up a little bit. All right here. So I'm here. So say if I want to throw this ball out, get nice and tight to you here. Maybe drop this down a little bit. Yeah. So now I'm right here. I say I want to throw it about 5 yards. I'm here, throwing it to my right. Boom. I can turn around. I can pick it straight up right here. Obviously, there's a wall there, but that was a good amount of distance, probably about 5 yards. Okay. So those are the keys that you want to think about when doing standing neutral grip when you're plunging or clamping. Now, there's also some other moves you can do, like the bottom rail rake. That's one of my favorites and also counters really well against the clamp, okay? So with this move, same setup. Gonna be here. Now, instead of just plunging, we're gonna really turn and use our bottom rail, okay? So it all starts with making a fist with your top hand. When I make that fist, then I'm gonna get that bottom rail underneath my opponent's clamp, okay? So once I get that bottom rail underneath his clamp, then all I want to do is just rip out as hard as I can, okay? So imagine you got a guy on this side who's doing this motion, right? That's clamping motion. I'm on this side. I'm getting under that, and then I want to rip it out from underneath him, okay? So it's very, very different than a laser, okay? A laser, you're just trying to hit the ball before he gets to it. This is, we might get to the ball at the same time, but I'm underneath him, so I can just pull that ball up and out from underneath him. And those are great two moves. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. DM or ask me any questions that you have. and spread the love. Appreciate everybody tuned in for this. Thank
Hi,
you.
everyone. My name is Sammy Jo Tracy. I'm an attacker and draw specialist for the Pride, and I went to the University of North Carolina. I also am the director of the Draw Control Academy, and I'm coming to a city near you. I hope everyone is staying safe, and I'm super excited to be a part of the Dream Stream. My thing today is stick tricks. Woo! Stick tricks and shooting. I'm on cage, so trick shots. Now, what we're gonna start with is one of my all-time favorites, is the one-handed behind the back. So, first off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll the ball, because we're gonna get it off the ground, towards the right side pipe. Now, what we're gonna do is we make sure we're gonna grab with a grip with our fingernails facing up, and I'm reaching and extending, all right? I'm walking slow. I'm gonna pick this ball up. I'm going to match my shoulder with the inside pipe, and then I'm gonna make sure you are looking at the cage, and I'm gonna bring the stick towards my shoulder. Boom. So we're going for that opposite corner, all right? Oh. Ready? We're gonna roll it out. We're gonna pick it up, aim it out, and boom. You can obviously be farther away. One more time. Ready? Full speed. Roll the ball. I like that little no angle. If you can try to really get behind that cage, it's even harder. My second stick trick. What we're gonna do is the famous in between the legger, all right? So, if you're familiar with the Twizzler, we have kind of the same setup. My elbow is under, my fingernails are facing out, and I'm really loose in the top hand. When I catch the ball, I immediately want to come here towards that parallel. I like it nice and high, and I'm gonna use my bottom hand to crank the stick into my fingertips. Next thing, we're gonna pull towards our leg. So we're up, we're cranking, and we're pulling towards the leg. Ready? Here, ball's up. Again, boom, punching towards, and then, oh, a little high, pulling it towards the cage. Last one, here, up, boom. Nice, and then make sure you look, because that's how you're gonna aim. Now let's add a little bit onto this trick shot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the ball up, okay? And instead of shooting, we're gonna throw a fake. So I like to kick my leg up to add a little exaggeration and show the back of my strings. So it's a full circle, and we gotta show. See how I'm quickly bringing the stick back up? Because obviously, if we hold it there, the ball will fall out. Then what I'm gonna do is that because I want it to be a no-look shot, or maybe a little bit of look over my right shoulder, I'm gonna come across my body and flick down, okay? Again, my arms are really far away from my body. Boom. And I'm getting that space, and I'm snapping using my bottom and top hand. Here it is. Boom. Oh, gotta be careful of that bounce. Up, pop, boom. Obviously, you can also throw this to yourself. Awesome. All right. Now for, speaking of Twizzlers, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a Twizzler shot in the air. So a lot of times, breaking down the Twizzler, we're here. Again, I'm opening up my body and I'm fully coming through. That's where I'm getting my power from. See, I have the same footing as I would be for a power shot. Now my hands are high, elbows under, I'm cranking into my fingertips, boom. Now let's take it a little bit step further. We're running towards the cage. I'm lining my pipe up with my shoulder as I'm jumping and twisting I'm doing the Twizzler in the air, extending my arms, and finishing. All right? So we're here. We're coming through. Twizzler. And make sure you hook that across. I didn't pull a little bit. Ah! Woo! And you gotta have the celebration. Are you guys ready for my next stick trot? Okay. Now, if you guys have grass, this works a little bit better with turf and cement. But what we're gonna do is a BTB bounce into a shovel shot. So, really important, we're getting our arms and elbows out and away from our body. It's like almost by our armpit. We're gonna bounce the ball, okay? So we're bringing it down. We're coming up, boom, and bouncing and trying to catch. That's the first step of the stick trick. Up and bring it down. Again, up and bring it down. All right, now let's face the cage. So I'm a right hand. I want to be almost aligned with that right pipe. We're going to come up, boom. I'm going to shift my feet and pull towards the cage. Really quick little trick that I love that turns into a shot. So we're here, pull, and I see how I extend out, boom, pulling towards my body. I love this one. Arms up. Again, the higher your arms are, the more flexibility you can on the ground. Boom, switching my stick and pulling, and don't have trees in the background because you'll never get the ball. Last one. Bounce. Woo! Pow. All right. Now what we're gonna do is the backbreaker. One of my favorites because Jen Adams taught this to me when I was little. It's super fun and very tricky. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our hand towards our shoulder. Then we're gonna go towards our head. So we wanna be aligned, okay? We do not want, I know it's the backbreaker, we do not wanna hit our back. What we're doing is half curling towards our head and then lightly placing it first in between our legs. So practice that before going into the shot. So a half moon, tap it through. One more time. Half moon, see how it's just a little circle? I'm really aiming out in front of me when I'm looking. Boom, just like that. Okay, now let's add a little air time, okay? So when I'm coming up, triple threat position, you know, that top three. Then we're gonna aim towards the cage. I'm gonna extend and jump, and then I'm gonna do that half moon towards the cage. I do get a little bit on the booty, all right? So we're gonna come up here. I really like to get that bounce, so it bounces right over the goalie. Here we go. Here. Woo! All right, couple more. Last one. Give it a kiss for good luck. Ready? All right. I hope you had so much fun. I know these stick tricks are a little crazy, but they're super fun to practice at home in your backyard. Just make sure you don't have woods and lose them like mine. Bye, you guys. Stay safe.
G'day boys and girls, my name is Callum Robinson. Shout out to everyone around the world tuning in. I'm stoked to be a part of the Dream Stream today and can't wait to show you some of the lacrosse drills that I've got set up for us. Some skills, some development, and a lot of drills that we can employ all around the world, regardless of where you're at. First of all, a little bit about me. I play in the PLL for Team Atlas LC. Also play for the Australian national team in the last couple of World Games. And fingers crossed, got a few more World Games still in these legs. And speaking of the Australian national team, I'm here to demonstrate these drills in my backyard of Australia, and can't wait to show you a little bit of my national pride. But amongst other things, what we're doing today is really for a great cause. I know the World Health Organization and COVID-19 relief is a huge international need right now. And what Dana's put together with the Dream Stream is super exciting. And hopefully we can teach you a bit about lacrosse, and especially on the defensive end of the field today, whilst also raising some money for a good cause. And I'm going to give a little shout out to one of my favorite charities at the end too as well. But not to delay the start, what we're going to be talking about today is some defensive footwork drills and some defensive stick work / check work drills. So I've got 2 footwork drills and a stick work drill to finish, and then we are out of here. Everything should be done in about 5 to 8 minutes. Couple of cones, and you can do this drill anywhere around the world. So get your stick, get active, and get playing. We're going to get through it right away. First one I like to call this the star footwork drill. So it's going to be a series of 5 cones, 1 in the middle with 4 points on the outside. What we're going to do, a couple of variations to this drill. Every time we're running towards the middle here, we're going to be sprinting with our butts to the ground, hand in our pocket. If we're shorties or girls, make sure we keep our hands in nice close to our body. So our first check is going to be a cross check or a long pole poke check, something of that nature. When we get to the middle, what we're going to do is we're going to stay low to the ground, pivot our butt to point to the next cone. We're going to work our way around clockwise to start. So when we get to the middle, sprinting forward, coming to the outside, we're backpedaling. Come back to the middle, forward, to the outside, backpedaling, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. That right there is the simple little star drill. This is something that we use, I know, in the Atlas team to get our legs nice and motored to start before the game, warm up our limbs, get our hands in motion, get everything in line from head to toe. Another variation we can do with this drill is instead of a back pedal out, we can throw in a shuffle. You can change your directions. You can throw pokes as you come to the middle. You can throw slashes. You can do a ton of different little things. And all the drills I like to implore have a few wrinkles here and there. Something you can mix it up, change it for your kids, add a little bit of a flair, and keep it interesting every time we're doing it. So, first drill, star footwork drill. Now, if you come with me, I got the second drill to show you. Another footwork drill just down here. This one is what I like to call the zigzag approach drill. Now, this drill, probably in my whole defensive career, is the drill that I have used the most, from an adolescent at Stevenson University all the way up to now playing in the PLL with Team Atlas. This is something that works very well for me, regardless of what level, and really allows you to practice your approaches, practice your drop steps, back pedal, and opening up. Everything that is so tailored for the defensive position, men's and women's. This is footwork that is applicable to both games. So we're going to start down on the far cone. I'm going to run up to the top zig, and I'm going to break down, back pedal, 2 or 3 steps back, and then I'm going to open up and get to the next cone. And when I'm opening up and getting to the next cone, you can variate it with a shuffle, but more game-like. Let's see if we can employ the crossover step. So it's coming over the front and then stepping forward, coming over the front, stepping forward. And you'll see me break into that cross-out step after my back pedal. So it's going to be an approach, back pedal to an open up crossover step, and then we're just going to repeat the same thing up here. When I get to the bottom, 2 approaches up top, I'm going to reverse it. So I'm going to flip it the other way. I'm going to practice crossing over my feet, going the other way, opening my hips up the other way. So we're going to go 2 up the same way, and then reverse 2 back the same way, and that's 1 rep. You can get as many or as little of these as you like. Get creative, throw some checks throughout it too, however you feel, whatever suits your style of game. You can expand the triangles, shorten the cones, make them short, sharp approaches, longer approaches, however you like. Now, let's see how it works. That right there is the Zigzag approach drill. Nice and easy, very applicable. One of my favorite defensive footwork drills for any boy or girl of any skill level, any age. Get out there, practice it. All right, our last one. We're gonna throw in a little stick check drill, something that I like to use just to practice my quick hands. So what I like to do, if you walk down with me here, I'll show you how I set it up. We've got 2 long poles positioned in the fence here. As my dummy poles. Now, we've implemented this with in LA, we've used trees, we've used sticks, we've used branches, we've used surfboards. You can do this any way, shape or form. As long as you've got a couple of obstacles to go around with, this is exactly all you need. Now, suspend them in the fence, put them in a tree, put them in your window, car door, it doesn't matter, right? As long as there's a way, as long as there's a will, there is a way. You'll find a way to get these sticks out and practice your quick hands. So, like I said, quick hands, that's the emphasis of what we're doing here with this stick work drill. I want to practice staying in a nice square position with my feet, okay? Athletic position. I don't throw checks standing up tall, nice and crouched, get low, hand in my pocket, okay? Girls and guys as well, short poles. You will be practicing hand speed, not necessarily the checks you're going to throw in a game, but the emphasis of this drill is to get quick hands, and everyone can use that. Short stick D middies, long poles, girls, guys, it doesn't matter. So we're going to start going figure eights around the poles. So as you can see, 2 poles suspended, probably about a foot in between them. Keep everything nice and tight. We're going to do a couple of variations. Figure eights, then we're going to go on to M's, and we're going to go on to W's. All right, so we're practicing some little slaps, some little lifts, and some quick hand figure eights. So first ones, this is what it looks like. If we're going figure eights, standing here nice and tall, just like this, right? When we get a little faster, hands get quicker. There you go, right? If you hit the pole, does not matter. That's exactly why we're using poles, not people. All right, now, second variation, we do M's. So it's exactly like it sounds. It looks like the letter M. So it should be a lift to a slap, a lift to a slap. Okay, up, slap, right? Now, when you've got your poles fixed in nice and tight on some obstacles, you can actually practice hitting them. In my case, where these are sort of just hanging in the fence here in Australia in these beautiful cricket nets, all right, what I want to do is try and go up and around these poles as a variation. So instead of practicing my slap checks and my lifts on the poles, let's try and employ a little bit more finesse and go up and around. So if they're going to cooperate with me here, there we go. Right, up, down, up, down, up, down. There's your M's. Last variation, we'll do some W's. So think about an M, let's just flip it upside down. The emphasis here is going to be more on the lift. So we're going to start slap, then lift, slap, and then lift. Okay? So it looks a little bit like this. Down, up, down, up. The emphasis is on that middle lift check. So for defenders, getting in under those hands. For girls, getting pressure on the feeder or the shooter or the passer. All right? And then just to finish, when you have some fun and get a little bit better at it, you can start to get a little bit creative and throw the stick as many ways as you like. Hit the obstacles, stay between them, poke check, lift, got some up and downs over their heads. Get creative, right? This game is not a black and white game at all. Have some fun with it, mix it up, and most of all, enjoy your lacrosse, right? Lastly, we are done here with me. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully we learned a little bit of something. Dig into those pockets, reach out to WHO, World Health Organization. Everyone in the world right now is screaming for some COVID relief, and Harlem Lacrosse, one of my favorite organizations that I work with in North America, doing wonderful, wonderful things for inner city youth programs, lacrosse programs. Get in there, throw them some dollars. It goes a long, long way. Peace.
Everyone, Karamuko, attacker from the WPLL Command, former Northwestern graduate, and I'm the current head women's lacrosse coach at George Mason University. Today we're going to be talking about some power shooting. I'm going to bring it back to an old school Northwestern drill that we've done years ago. Some of you guys may have seen it, you may not. A lot of this drill is going to be stationary. I'm actually using a fence today, as you'll see, as my net, because I don't have access to a net during this time. I only have access to about 10 to 12 balls. You don't even need that many. I'm trying to give you guys a really simple drill that's going to help you build up power for your shooting. So the first part of this drill, I'm going to move my stack of balls over. And the grass is a little wet, that's why I have that bag down. But we're actually going to start on our knees down, okay? With our knees down, I should say. The reason why we're starting with our knees down is to really activate our core. When we're shooting, a large part of our power should be coming from our core, from our torso. We call that rotation a little bit of torque, okay? And yes, we are generating power from our legs, but we want to take our legs out of the picture here and generate from our core and up. So to start, you guys are going to have your stick off your back shoulder, okay? You're going to have your weight equally distributed in each leg. You're going to extend your top arm back as far as possible, okay? Get in the shape of a L if you can. Your front arm in the shape of a V. You're going to come up and over, push, pull, and shoot. When you finish, your stick come all the way through, butt end up into armpit on the opposite side of your body. If you want to work a little bit more to work on that power that you generate from your core and your trigger hand, which is that bottom hand that you pull with, as you shoot, you can release your top hand to really activate that trigger hand. So I'm here, my arms are back off my body, push, pull. I release my top hand. One more time there. I'm here, stick back and flat, push, pull. From here, after you get your reps in, you're gonna go one knee up, okay? I'll show you with my left hand. So my right leg's up, I've got a nice wide base, okay? My weight is gonna transfer from my back leg to my front leg. Nothing changes here except now that I have one leg as my base. Again, I'm gonna get my arm back. My top arm is extended, shape of an L. Front arm is locked and steady in the shape of a V. I'm gonna come here, push, pull, drive that butt end into your opposite armpit. Same thing applies here. If you want to work on that trigger hand, generating a bit more power, you'll release your top hand as you shoot. Your momentum when you shoot, you should notice a big shift in weight from your back leg to your front leg. All right, so you work about 10 reps from the knee position, 10 reps to the one knee position for each hand. So it'll be 20, both knees down, 20, right leg up, 20 left leg up. From here, we're gonna go to a standing position. Okay, I'm gonna be standing, my hips square to my target, my shoulders square to my target as well. I am not gonna be open in this split stance yet. I'm just gonna be here because we're gonna continue to work on the rotation from our core. But again, we have a little bit more stable of a base with our legs, but we're not stepping to generate power. So I'm here, my arms are back, fully extended, up, over, push, pull. Lock that stick down in that armpit. Same thing with that left side, stick is back, push, pull. Again, if you want to release that top hand, you can. Make sure you start with your shoulders square, push, pull. Last piece, well actually last two pieces. You will start with 1 foot forward, okay? So here, we're now in that stance that we typically finish in, or started when we shoot, and then when we finish. So we're in that wide base, our knees are bent, athletic stance, I'm locked and loaded, gonna shift my weight back, push, pull, forward. Same thing, if you wanna release that top hand, push, pull. You guys should be pretty tired after you get to this point. Your core should be pretty lit up right away, okay? That is the progression that you will do stationary. This last part I'm gonna show you is something called a crow hop, or you can implement a shuffle. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our legs going a little bit more, make it more game-like. I'm gonna show you guys a shuffle at first. So again, really get that stick extended. If you feel comfortable, kind of just getting it with one hand to start, that's great. Lock your bottom hand off. From here, your knees are gonna be bent. You're gonna use your legs to generate that shuffle power, and then a hard rotation in your core, pivot in your back foot to get that hard shot. So I'm here, my knees are bent, shuffle, push, pull. When you follow through, your back leg naturally, from all your momentum, should swing forward. Okay, that's essential to open up those hips to get that hard follow through. So that would be the shuffle. The next thing you guys can do is a crow hop. So instead of that traditional shuffle, the crow hop, you're gonna be here to kind of take my stick out of it. You step backwards to rotate your hips. You step forward to initiate that torque, and you finish forward. So again, it's with my left hand. I'm here, I'm locked and loaded. Back step, up and over. That one I release my top hand. Again, you can release your top hand or you can keep it with two hands on. Totally up to you. Have fun with this one, you guys. Again, you don't need much. All you need is a fence or some type of stable backboard to shoot against, a couple balls, and you get some power shooting in. Thanks.
Hi everyone, what's up? It's Michelle Tumolo here. Super excited to be part of the Dream Stream. It's gonna be an awesome stream. I'm a current Pride attacker for the WPLL, also an attacker on the USA Women's National Team, and the head coach at Wagner College in Staten Island, New York. So excited to be a part of this stream. An amazing lineup of players, coaches, all the above. I wish I had this when I was younger, and I'm really excited to bring it to your laptop or your iPhone or whatever you are watching. And I think it's a super important time in the world right now that we get to work on our craft in our backyards or in our living rooms or our bedrooms in front of our mirrors. And I think that, you know, this is what's awesome about, you know, the internet. You guys get to watch us. So this is part of my skill is stick work, and I live in New York, so I have a small apartment. I don't have much outdoor space, so I want to change it up a little bit and go inside. So you can do this anywhere, but I want to show you that you could be doing things without even thinking, just like this. Like I would walk around my apartment, you know, moving the ball in my hands, working on my hand-eye coordination, just moving the ball and working on, you know, soft grip. Not even looking, maybe putting two balls and juggling, but just feeling the ball around your body, in your hands, with working on that hand-eye coordination. I do it with a football sometimes. It could be any type of, you know, equipment or ball that you just feel like you could work with around your body and work on, you know, that movement in your fingers and just work on your athleticism. All right, because lacrosse obviously is a whole bunch of sports pushed into one, and I think it's super important to be comfortable, you know, being uncomfortable. You know, I say that a lot, and I think that, you know, I was not always comfortable just moving the ball in my hand like this, but it takes a lot of work, and once you get really comfortable with, you know, balls or other sports, you know, you're gonna put your stick in your hand, and you're gonna be comfortable using both hands. Be comfortable going up top here, all right, and then side arm a little bit more, all right, because if you're an attacker, you don't want to ever be stopped by your defender, right? And if you're a defender, you never want to be blown by an attacker. If you're a goalie, you know, same thing. You never want the ball to just be going in without making a save, right? And you got to work on things, all right? So stick work, I think, is the most important thing. And it's not just putting the ball on your stick and getting on the wall, which is probably one of the most important things, but it's working on, you know, being comfortable just cradling around your body, all right? And this takes a lot of work and a lot of practice, and it's super simple. I haven't even moved my feet. You know, I could be standing here the whole time and get this whole stick work routine done with, all right? So it doesn't take a lot of space, a lot of equipment. It really is just your stick, all right, and your ball. Flanny's got to go over here. Flanny wants the ball. Go ahead, bud. All right, so let's start out with just cradling, okay? So let's put the ball down, okay? I'm a little bit different. So some people play up here. I play a lot of sidearm, okay? So this is what I look like when I'm cradling. If this isn't what you look like, that's okay. You just put your stick wherever you feel like you're comfortable with, all right? Let's work on having loose grip, okay? Shaft in our fingertips, all right? You should be able to spin your stick very easily, all right? You don't want to be like this with your hands with a grip like this, because then you're not going to be able to move super freely and creatively, all right, and being able to dodge your defenders, all right, without being checked, right? We never want to get checked as attackers or defenders, okay, running up the field. All right, so this starts with being comfortable with your stick, okay? So super loose grip. So let's start with, I'm a lefty, so this is what it looks like. It would look like as a righty. Okay, we're gonna work on just twirling the bottom part of your stick. Okay, it's like you're revving an engine, okay, but opposite, okay? This is how you would rev an engine, all right? Like on a motorcycle, we're gonna go opposite, okay? So outwards, okay? The top hand is just letting it go, all right, in your fingertips. Go ahead, Bubba. Come. All right, so we're gonna work on that. Okay, now let's go to the opposite hand. Okay, it doesn't feel as comfortable for me, okay? So that's why I gotta work on it. And it doesn't look as, you know, free-flowing and easy. Okay, so that's why you gotta move and work on it. Okay, then you switch your hands. Now let's go to the top hand. That's what's gonna be rolling the stick, okay? This might look silly, but this is all about working on loose grip, okay? Getting comfortable with the shaft, all right? In your hand, super loose. Okay, let's do it the opposite side now. All right, and then we're just working on moving your stick, twirling your stick as fast as you can and feeling it, all right, in your hand. All right, now let's work on that with the ball in your stick. All right, it's gonna be a little bit different. Okay, so let's go bottom hand first. Okay, go as many as you can without dropping it. Okay, I dropped it there. Okay, again, this is just working on keeping the stick super loose in your fingertips. Okay, let's go to the other hand. Okay, again, doesn't look as good. Okay, it's gotta work on it, dropped it. All right, now let's work on, okay, that top hand, keeping it in there. Okay, opposite hand. All right, so you guys get the point. So you guys could do this for 10 minutes, you could do it for 15 minutes, you can do it for 100 reps, counting how many times you can get it around, okay, without dropping it. But I think this is a simple tool that no one really talks about. I know Katrina Dow did when we worked at Oregon together. We did this a lot with our players, all right? And that's just really getting comfortable with the ball on your stick, feeling it in your hands, in your shaft, in your stick, all right, without dropping it and just being really comfortable. Because now I can not even look at my stick and be able to cradle all over my body, right? And never get checked by a defender because I know where she is without having to know or look at my stick, okay? And see where the ball is, right? Is it still in my stick? Is it still in my stick? No, because I feel it. I know it's there, all right? So let's really work on those things. Very simple, okay? And then bigger picture, okay? So then that's just those cradles, those fakes, getting around your body and super, all right, big, but then big, small at the same time. We want to be able to play big and small at the same time, okay? You don't have to be put in a small box and play just like it looks like, okay, what you think it looks like, right? You want it to be big, small, be able to cradle all over our body and be super comfortable. One-handed, okay, both-handed, BTB, fakes. Okay, then we go to our opposite hand. Okay, same thing. We want to be able to be big, comfortable, both hands. You will never get checked. I shouldn't say never, but let's work on never getting checked. I've definitely been checked, and I remember every single time. All right, so being big, playing big, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, really getting out of your comfort zone, okay? If you get this stick work and work on this stick work every single day, okay, you're gonna take your game to the next level. You're not gonna be thinking about with the ball. It's just gonna be super natural for you. You're gonna make plays, and it's gonna be like super, this is an extension of your arm, and it's just gonna be super natural for you, and it's gonna be awesome. And you're gonna be able to take your game to new heights, all right? So I challenge you to get in your room in front of your mirror and watch yourself do this, okay? It's super, or film yourself, okay? Just like this, like I'm gonna rewatch it and be like, oh, what did I mess up? All right, so I challenge you to do that, have super fun with it. You can do this while you're on the wall too, moving, right? You could be jogging, using cones, okay? And just working on, right, cradling, backing up, now moving your feet, okay? And just working on that loose grip, all right? Faking all around your body, cradling all around your body to never get checked by a defender or attacker riding you, or if you're a goalie and you're out of the cage, right? That stick work, take it to the next level. Super excited to see the rest of my friends and teammates' videos. I'm gonna be donating. With everything going on in the world right now, I will be donating to Black Lives Matter and the LGBTQ Center in New York City. I'm so excited to use my voice and educate myself and others around me. I challenge you to do so as well. Let's use our voice and let's change the world.
What's up, everyone? This is Deemer Class from Baltimore, Maryland, graduate of Duke in 2016, current member for the PLL Chaos as an offensive midfielder, current women's offensive coordinator at USC Lacrosse, and founder of First Class Lacrosse. And I'm so excited to be a part of the WPLL Dream Stream. I'm so excited to be a part of this because I'm a huge proponent of getting different drills, different techniques, and making sure that we're sharing the game and techniques with players all over the world. And so excited to be a part of this and keep sharing different things that I've learned over my career on the men's side, different things that we're teaching our players on the women's side, and just excited to keep sharing so that players like you can keep learning, engaging, and keep loving the sport of lacrosse. So again, today, we're going to be talking quickly about time and room shooting and time and room shooting in an 8-meter setting. So there's a couple big things that we really like to focus on when we're working on time and room shooting. And number one is really making sure that we're stepping to the target. We need to make sure that the cage, though it's 6 by 6 in terms of feet, we need to make sure that we're stepping directly to that target. And especially think about when you're lining up for an 8-meter shot, you want to make sure if you're stepping to that spot on the net that you're trying to shoot. Secondly, we really like to focus on our stick path and making sure we're having a consistent stick path. So it's thinking that, especially when we're shooting overhand, our stick is coming over the top and finishing and driving through and finishing up by our front foot. And same thing, lefty coming over the top, finishing by that front foot. That way we have a consistent follow through and we make sure that when we're shooting time and room that we're really being consistent. That's one of the biggest things we see with young shooters is just changing technique and constantly shooting from different release points. We really like to think about adding to our shot over time and having different angles as you keep mastering ones and building a great fundamental base. So that's really what we like to think about in terms of our stick path. Lastly, the biggest thing we like to focus on is making sure that we're transferring our weight, meaning that we're driving off of our back foot, finishing through to our front foot as we step to the target. This is going to allow you to engage your lower bodies and make sure that you really get good power on your shot. So what we like to do and what we like to think about is making sure that when we get set up at that 8-meter spot that we're getting our hands in shooting position. Here, we're getting our hands back and loaded. Notice how my hands are nice and extended instead of in front of my face. And that's going to allow me, when I wind up and take my steps, to be really powerful in terms of bringing my hands and finishing through. We talked about the footwork in terms of generating that power off of our back foot and stepping to our target. And then lastly, we need to make sure, like we said, that we're being consistent with that release. So like we said here, when we get our hands back and extended, we like to think about having our body turned. If we're starting, with our chest open, our chest pointed to our target, we're going to have to get our body turned to get in that good release point for time and room shooting. So making sure that that front shoulder and front foot are pointed to the target and we're getting set up. That's going to allow us, when we take our steps, to drive our back foot and back shoulder through, finishing our shot. So you'll see in these next couple drills as a part of our dream stream, and we're taking a time and room shot, that we're working on our mechanics with our footwork, and we're stepping through and finishing to our target. That's going to allow us for different moves like the hitch move in terms of getting out and selling that 8-meter shot or selling that time and room shot and working on our hitch as we get over top of a defender. The last thing that we need to make sure we think about when we take our time and room shot is taking a 3-step crow hop to our target. So what we want to do when we take our 3-step crow hop is take our front foot, step to the cage, take our back foot and bring it behind, and then our third foot, we come through and we step to the net and we finish transferring our weight off of our back foot. Really excited that you all are tuning into the Dream Stream. Hope you all found this helpful and hope to see a lot of you all at future camps, clinics, and make sure that you all keep growing and learning about the game of lacrosse, respecting everyone, and thanks for tuning in. We're going to be talking about being able to hit 4 spots on the net in an 8-meter shot. When we're shooting time and room on an 8-meter, it's really key to be able to hit all 4 spots on the net from the same release point. If we can do this, it makes us really effective and less predictable as a shooter.
Hi guys, welcome to the Dream Stream. I'm Alice Mercer. I'm a defender for the WPLL Fight and the U.S. national team. I graduated in 2016 from the University of Maryland. Go Terps. And I'm super excited to be here to give you guys some at-home workouts and some training that, again, you don't need a ton of equipment for. Really just your body and your stick and some space to work with. But super excited to be here to give you guys a sort of day in the life of some of the workouts that I work on my own. I know we have a great stellar lineup here for you guys with a bunch of awesome athletes. So please, I really hope you enjoy this. I hope you have fun, you're able to take something away. But really, we're just here to sort of help you guys out during this really tough time where, you know, it's hard to get access to a field, it's hard to get access to some of your teammates and friends to help you out. So a lot of what we're gonna do today is sort of individualized work, okay? So we'll go ahead and get started. My topic is gonna be defending ISOs from the top, okay? So whether you're a defender, a midi, or an attacker who maybe got caught on the defensive end. This happens a lot, right? A lot of offenses work around clearing out some space for a top dodge from high, and it's definitely something that is worth talking about and kind of working on how can we break down our steps to be successful in those top ISOs, okay? So to start, my sort of big keys and overarching themes are approach, make contact, and force, okay? And those are the big ones that all of the stuff I'm gonna talk about today is gonna be basically with those overarching themes in mind. So approach, what I mean by that is how you make contact, how you know, the first couple steps you take before you make contact with your attacker. And those are super important because these things allow us to either dictate what our attacker is gonna do or sort of allow them to dictate. So that's why I really want to talk about how we approach, okay? And then from there, making contact would be the second step. And then the third one being the force, okay? And so what I mean by force is what direction do you want your attacker to go? So obviously if you're in an ISO from high, there's a lot of different ways that this can go, right? So we're either gonna force right or we're gonna force left. And it kind of depends on what system you're working in defensively. As a team, you may be forcing to help, you might be forcing, you know, just to the outside. It kind of depends on what your system is that you're sort of running at the time. But we definitely want to force a direction, right? The last thing we want is to open up our hips and allow our attacker or midi to have a clear lane to goal, right? We don't want to like run the red carpet right out for them so that they can go straight to goal. So we want to make sure that we're on an angle and we're using our hips and really relying on our footwork and not so much our stick to dictate the tempo of play, as in the speed on that end, but also dictate where our attacker is going to go, okay? So the first thing I would say to help out with defending ISOs from the top would be just doing 1v1s, okay? That's something that I know right now can be really tough because we're not able to get on fields potentially. It's hard to work with other people. But when we are back in action, as uncomfortable as 1v1s can be for both the attacker and the defender, you really have to work on them. That's how you become more familiar and just more comfortable being maybe alone, right? So sometimes in an ISO we can feel like we're on an island by ourselves. And so this will just help you get used to that feeling, and then giving yourself more confidence so that when you are in a game-like situation that you're prepared and you have the skills that you need to be successful, okay? So a couple of things that I always like to do to start is warm up my hips, okay? So really simple, a couple nice footwork and hip drills to get yourself ready to go is to take a couple steps or two, immediately get down in your low defensive stance, okay? So notice how I'm balanced, I'm not leaning forward too much, I'm not leaning back on my heels, but I'm really, I just have a nice balance on my feet, like my weight's distributed evenly. I've got my stick and my arms up, okay, in a nice diagonal position with my stick, so I'm not horizontal, right? I'm not straight up and down, but I'm really in a comfortable diagonal position, okay? And notice how I'm low, right? So I'm not, again, hinging forward, but really sitting. Okay, so this sort of like proper stance, as I like to call it, is a great thing to, when you're doing footwork and hip stuff, and preparing yourself to work on 1v1s from high. This is a great way to start, is to get down in your low stance and then constantly try to come back to that position. So we're gonna come up a couple steps, we're gonna get low in our position. Immediately, I want you to flip your hips to the right, back to the center, and flip your hips to the left, back to the center again, and then you'll reset. Okay, and when you do this a little bit more, 75%, 100% speed, it's gonna look a little different than what I just did because it's gonna be less hopping. So you're gonna take a step or two, down, switch, okay, and coming back. So notice how when I'm switching, my whole body's not facing this direction, okay? Because the girl I'm guarding is in front of me, okay? But this is just to get our hips warmed up. So as soon as I'm switching hips, my eyes and my head, right, my chest are facing forward. Back to the center again, same thing on the left side. Everything's facing forward. My feet are really just angled a little bit diagonally again, more to the corner than anything. I don't wanna come up and work on my hips and come like this, right? Because this allows this wide open lane to go to goal, but really just on an angle, okay? So getting your hips warmed up with little drills like that. I think from there, you can build on that by working on your approach, okay? So if you have cones, you can use them to sort of help you out, help build like a framework. But I tend to teach and play an approach style that's more of like a C, okay? So you almost want it to look like literally the letter C, like cat. And the way I kind of work on that is either put some cones out, either one cone, like maybe diagonal, one in front of you, and I just work on like slowly going around those cones and then bringing myself to my nice low stance, okay? And it doesn't have to be quick because again, when we're high, right, and our attacker's coming down the field, the last thing we want is to jump the gun and run right out at them, okay, right? Because what are they gonna do? Run right by us. And we also don't want to approach them straight on. So if I'm running right at my attacker and I'm straight on like this, even if I'm low, okay, my hips are facing completely forward. She still has an option to go either way, okay, which doesn't really help me with forcing, which was that second thing we talked about, right? So after we approach and we make contact, the force, okay? So if I'm approaching like this, I'm not forcing her to go anywhere, okay? So that's why we work on the approach, okay? Where we take a couple steps in a little bit of a C motion, and then again, we get nice and low in our stance. And now I'm prepared because of my approach to make contact right here, and then immediately start to force this direction, okay? So that if you were my attacker right now, you'd be forced to use your right hand, okay? And same thing on the other side. So you wanna work on both sides, okay? Everything we do on that side with our approach, we also wanna do on this side. So again, putting a cone maybe diagonal out in front of you and then one right in front of you, and just again, slowly go around the cone on that sort of C approach. And then once you get to the top, go ahead and sit low, just right back in our proper stance like we talked about. And then immediately we can start forcing this direction, okay? And some ways you can build on the approach and the making contact, okay? From there, once you've got the steps, would be to add in like a shuffle or like a couple crossover steps. So for example, if I were to do this, I'm approaching, okay? Got my nice approach, I sit low, and then I do 2 shuffles, okay? And then maybe I reset, okay? And then I can obviously go to the other side too. Same thing, approach, okay? I sit nice and low, and then I've got 2 shuffles. So this really allows me to kind of build, right? So it's one piece at a time. We warmed up our hips, we worked on our approach, okay? I know the making contact is a little difficult when you have an imaginary attacker, okay? But imagine that when you do come up
and you sit, that you're making contact right when you get to the top in your proper stance. So we've built, okay, and then after we've made contact, we're forcing. Okay, so that's why at the end I would add in the shuffles, the crossover steps, things like that. Okay, and obviously if you have more room, you can do a couple more than 2. But I'm just, again, erring on the side of you guys not having a ton of space, okay? So again, 1v1s can be super intimidating, especially from the top, okay? Because it might feel like, again, you're on an island, they can go wherever they want, okay? But these are some of the little things like warming up your hips, okay? So you're prepared, you're working on it, working on your C approach, okay? Making contact, and then again, forcing them the way you want them to go. Okay, and a part of that's gonna be your teammates talking to you, right? So your teammates might be saying, hey Alice, force right, I got your help. Okay, and then that decision is already made up for me, right? As a defender, I'm like, all right, I'm forcing right because my team is there. Okay, so a lot of it is gonna be situational, okay? But these are some of the nice, I think, like foundational steps to become a little bit more comfortable and confident in an ISO from high. Okay, and obviously keep building on this stuff. Like I said, nothing can truly replace just doing 1v1s, which I know is not comfortable. But these are some of the little stuff that I like to use and to put into my workouts that have helped me be a little bit more confident on the field. Okay, so thanks for joining. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the Dream Stream today, and good luck. Have fun.
Hi guys, this is Sydney Parecka
And Shayna Parecka.
We both played at the University of Florida and we're both on the WPLL Pride. I'm currently the assistant coach at Syracuse University.
And I'm currently a teacher and a high school coach. We're so excited to be on here doing this Dream Stream to hopefully raise some money for families and communities in need during these uncertain times. We're really excited to be here.
And we hope you guys enjoy all the athletes that are giving back and showing you guys some cool things you can do during this crazy time. So, me and Shane are only a year apart, so we've always been, working together, whether it's gymnastics, lacrosse, really anything. And, we're a very competitive family, so we try and keep things light and fun. So we're going to show you a couple things that we've done since we've been, growing up into the sport of lacrosse. Some competitive, some not, but we're going to try and keep this light and friendly and fun. So the first thing we have is just working on some tricks, a little bit of our stick skills. We usually do this just to warm up and have some fun with it. You want to explain it?
Yeah, so it's really important to do, your normal stick work routine, but this is just something that gets you a little bit more comfortable with your stick, gets you a little bit more creative, and maybe it'll help you throw BTB in a game someday. So basically what we're gonna do is no matter where you catch the ball, you're always throwing either a BTB or an around the world. So if I throw the ball to Sydney, she catches it straight into her BTB. I can go in around the world. So it's really important to adjust your hands, right? So if I'm in tight, I'm gonna adjust my hands. If I have to catch a pass out here, I'm gonna adjust that way. So this really helps you get comfortable with your stick and get a little bit creative.
The fun part of this, guys, is really you kind of have to go wherever you catch it. Give me that pass. So if I have something up here, right, I'm fluently going into the next thing, okay? You're kind of just being able to get comfortable with your stick wherever you are. It's not always gonna be a great pass, but being able to kind of work off that and just continue it as best you can. It's just a quick, fun little thing to warm up your hands and get fluent with that stick.
And we've been doing this for a while, so it's okay if it doesn't look that fluent when you first start out. It's all about practice.
Yeah. Okay, the next one, which is one of our favorites, we love working out, doing conditioning, doing footwork, and trying to incorporate lacrosse into our workouts. So this is a great drill and competition that you guys can do right in your backyard. So it's a ladder drill into a ground ball into a shot. So we kind of have a little bit of everything. If you don't have a ladder, we showed that you can just use, we just used dish towels and rolled them up and kind of just implemented the same space in between. So we'll usually do a series of footwork, 1 foot in each, 2 foot in each, icky shuffle, things like that. And we'll typically do that 3 to 5 times each to get a little bit of a workout in as we're doing this drill. So we're gonna demonstrate it for you guys. We have our ladders, we have our ball set up to get into our ground ball, and then obviously we have our net. If you don't have a net, you can just, put anything 2 by 2 and just aim for that target on those corners. So we're gonna demo for you guys. We're gonna do 1 in each. So we're just gonna go one foot in each into a ground ball, into a shot, and then we're gonna see who can do it quicker.
So if you want, you can make this a competition, right? So say Sydney
scores first, which she probably will, she'll get a point. And if you want to make it really competitive, you can tally up your points and see who wins at the end.
Backyard right now. You don't have an 8, totally fine. Just try and map out 8 to 12 meters, whatever you guys want to do. This is probably another one of our favorites. Shayna and I both love to shoot. And as a righty and a lefty, it's awesome because we're able to work on both sides. But if you're both righties, if you're both lefties, it's awesome to, you know, work on that weak hand. So, first one we're doing, want to do sweeps?
Alright, so basically, I'll have a pile of balls on my side, then you will have a pile on her side. So, it's really important to work on catching on the run, right? Because in a game, we're never going to catch flat-footed. So this is a lot more game-like than me just picking up a ball and dodging on my own. So basically, we're going to start with sweeps. So I'm going to pass to Sydney. I'm going to call it bottom left. She's going to shoot bottom left, okay? It's also really important so she can adjust mid-shot. Right now I know I need to read a goalie in a game. This is kind of trying to replicate that. So fast thinking, faking, and shooting into a corner. Then same thing.
So we're kind of demoing for you guys, so we're not obviously going 100%. Try and give, you know, 80 to 100% effort every time. And then that last piece, like Shay's saying, is that accuracy. So make sure you're opening up your ears, you're hearing your partner say what they're calling for, and try and hit that target.
And just like Sydney said before, if you don't have a net, just put 2 ball buckets, anything really that you don't mind hitting with a lacrosse ball, and aim for those. Bottom right.
Okay, so that's the sweep. The next one is an alley dodge. So an alley dodge is you're not coming to the middle of the 8, you're going to that outside lane to the cage, okay? So I'll demonstrate first.
So again, Sydney's going to make sure she's catching on the move towards me, planting her foot in the ground, and then going to the outside towards the near pipe.
So that's down the alley. Shay's got one. Do you want to go?
Same thing, catching,
Bottom left.
okay?
So that's down the alley. And our final, third one is Shayna's favorite, rip shots.
Yep, so basically on this one, you're catching, you want to make sure still you're not flat-footed, you're coming towards the ball as you're catching, straight into your rib, okay? Top right.
So those are 3 different series you guys can do. And again, if you want to make it competitive, if you hit that target that they're calling out, you get a tally. If not, you don't. You can, you know, go up to 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you guys want to do. But those are 3 great different shooting drills you guys can work on, and also a little bit of dodging.
Yep, and we're so thankful again to be a part of this, and we just want to pass it forward to Feeding America to help families and communities in need during these uncertain times. Thank you.